Get the straight shot. Straight shot of the kids. That's the money shot. We have shots on the phone.
All right, guys, we're about to get started. Yvonne, we're starting.
How you doing? Good to see you.
Good to see you. All right.
We want to start with, stand right here. Oh, and I can't hear you. Just not, yeah, just over here if you could. Over here.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Unless you want on the other side too.
Yeah, do you want to?
Just make sure I don't fall or anything.
I'll go on this side then.
Stand over there. Okay.
Okay, and then
Want to come on this side, Johnny?
you just want to go behind.
And then I'll just walk in. Come on.
All right, guys, 3, 2, 1. You may tell me if there's a plane overhead, you can just fall on. Yeah.
Okay. Good afternoon. My name is Mark Apostolos. I'm an attorney at the law firm Sullivan, Papain, Block, McGrath, Kofinas, and Canavo. And we represent the families of the firefighters that were tragically killed fighting the fire aboard the Grande Costa d'Avorio ship on July 5th, 2023. By my side, I have the families here of Wayne Brooks Jr. and Augusto Acabou. We're standing in front of Engine 16, which is Augusto Acabou's former firehouse, as well as Wayne Brooks's former firehouse. We're here today to memorialize the tragic and preventable death of both of these brave individuals. These gentlemen were not only pillars within their respective firehouses and within the Newark Fire Department, but were pillars of their families. We're here to explain that we're going to be seeking justice on behalf of these families, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about what our investigation has thus far uncovered. Most importantly, the investigation has revealed at this point in time, although it is continuing and ongoing, that the fire started due to a Jeep Wrangler that was being used by the men to load that ship on that day. And that Jeep Wrangler was having known mechanical issues, and in fact was actually witnessed to have been smoking, and smoke piping out of the engine compartment hours prior to the fire starting. Those men loading that ship continued to use this malfunctioning and mechanically failing Jeep Wrangler until...
Can you repeat? Yes, start that again.
Sure. The men loading the ship were using a Jeep Wrangler to push cargo upon the ship. That Jeep Wrangler was having known mechanical issues throughout the day and was in fact smoking at one point in time, at least one point in time. And despite that, those men continued to use that Jeep Wrangler until it started ablaze. And that Jeep Wrangler ended up setting a fire and causing a massive inferno to take place aboard the ship's top decks. These gentlemen were subject to that massive inferno, and because this Jeep Wrangler was set ablaze, they were caused to enter into that fire and ultimately make the ultimate sacrifice. The other thing that the investigation has uncovered is that the ship's crew actually has 2 firefighting teams aboard. And both of those firefighting teams failed in multiple different ways to put this fire out before those firefighters entered into that fire. They first failed to put the fire out locally, that is with fire extinguishers and hoses. And then they failed to properly follow the procedures that they had in place upon the ship to deploy the CO2 fire suppression system that ship had. Specifically, we have come to learn that the manner in which that CO2 system operates is it starves the fire of oxygen so long as the doors and compartments to the area where the fire is located are closed off and no fresh air can come in. But in fact, we have learned that on that day and at that time, the main garage door on deck 12 of the fire ship was in fact kept open and remained open, allowing fresh air and oxygen to continue fueling the fire even while they were attempting to deploy the CO2, rendering the CO2 system completely ineffective. These failures on multiple different accounts, of course, ultimately led to the tragic and unfortunate deaths of these two brave individuals. So I'll take some questions after, but first we're going to have just a few words from the members of the families, and that is first Miss Michelle Brooks, and then who is the widow and wife of Wayne Brooks, and then we're going to hear from Miguel Acabou, who is the brother of Augusto Acabou. So, Michelle.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Michelle Brooks, Wayne's wife, and I stand before you today to express my support for the legal actions that will be taken against those implicated in the tragic and untimely passing of Wayne. Wayne was not just my husband, he was a cherished father, son, brother, cousin, and a beloved member of our community. On July 5th, 2023, our lives were changed forever. Wayne was taken from us in a manner that was entirely preventable. Wayne's departure has left an immense void in the hearts of our family, his friends, and our community. We are committed to have those responsible for the loss of two precious lives held accountable. Wayne, I love you deeply, and we will pursue justice in your memory. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Miguel Mikey Acabou. I am Captain Augusto Acabou's youngest brother. I'm here with my mom, Maria Acabou, and my brother, John Acabou, who is the middle brother. I am, too, a public servant, a police captain, and a first responder. As you may know, my brother, Newark Fire Captain Augie Acabou, was tragically killed on Wednesday, July 5th, 2023, fighting a shipboard fire aboard the Grimaldi Line ship Gran Costa d'Avorio. We are here today outside Engine 16 of the Newark Fire Department to remember our heroes, Captain Augie Acabou and Captain Wayne Brooks Jr. And today is his birthday, October 6th. It's his 46th birthday, and it's our first year without him. In the heart of every community, there exists a beacon of courage and selflessness, the firefighter, my brother Augie. With unwavering dedication and valor, he stands as a guardian, ready to protect and save. Even at the risk of his own life, which was tragically taken from us. Today, we honor our heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice. Augie was not a symbol, Augie was not only a symbol of valor, but also a symbol of love. Augie's kindness and empathy touched the hearts of all he encountered, leaving a lasting impact. To me, love is an everlasting bond that transcends the boundaries of time and space. It provides solace and healing to our wounded hearts. Love, again, is a beacon of light in our darkest moments, reminding us that we are never alone. And my brother Augie was love. As we know, negligence from all parties involved led to the death of my brother Augie and Wayne. We have to address negligence because it is vital for maintaining trust, maintaining ethical business and entity practices, and overall well-being of employees, consumers, and the community. Therefore, my family and I and our attorney, Mark Apostolos, and his legal team are seeking legal action, accountability, and justice against all parties involved. We want to prevent future occurrences like this to happen, so no other families are to suffer, just as we are, and we will forever suffer. Both justice and accountability are crucial for maintaining a just and stable society, where individuals like you and me and first responders have faith in the legal system, trust in institutions and entities, and belief in the fairness of equity of the social order. Again, a reasonable person, just like you and me, will agree that justice and accountability are fundamental principles in any society aiming to uphold the rule of law, to protect human rights, and to ensure a fair and just society. Again, in closing, thank you for providing me with this platform and to share a memory of my brother, Captain Augie Acabou, on his birthday, and to the family of Wayne Brooks Jr. My family and I would like to thank everyone for constant support and love that we have been receiving daily. We will never forget these heroes. Their names will be forever ingrained and deeply embedded in the city of Newark's history, and always and forever in our hearts. Thank you very much.
All right, so I'll take a few brief questions. Sure.
Have you filed anything yet? Have you filed a lawsuit yet?
We've filed a notice of claim against the city of Newark. A lawsuit will be filed against the ship's crew, and the stevedore companies that were loading the vessel at the time.
Is that a foreign company? Would they claim that they were not responsible because it's international waters or whatever? I mean, where is this company based? Who are you suing exactly?
Grimaldi is the owner of the ship. They are an Italian-based company, but they've already submitted themselves to the jurisdiction of the court because they filed a limitation action. So there's no jurisdictional issue at this point.
The Wrangler. Can you explain that?
Sure, it's a method under maritime law where a ship owner can limit their liability to the value of the vessel. In this case, they have claimed that the value of the vessel was $15 and approximately $500,000. We will be fighting to break the limitation. That limitation can be broken so long as you prove certain things under the law.
The Wrangler that you were talking about, whose vehicle is that? Is that the ship company? Is that how they move stuff in and out of the ship?
Yeah.
Tell us who owns that.
It's our understanding at this point in time that that vehicle was owned and operated by two different companies. That is AMS and Ports America, and they were utilizing the vehicle to push cargo onto the ship. And the cargo they were pushing on the ship was actually disabled vehicles, and those vehicles were being transported to either Africa or Europe.
Regarding oxygen tanks as well as protocol.
The notice of claim speaks for itself, right? I mean, it states a lot of different allegations within there, including failing to train, failing to provide proper equipment. We're continuing to investigate that aspect of the case.
Talk to the mic.
Sorry, we're continuing to investigate that aspect of the case. When you file a notice of claim, New Jersey law requires that you wait 6 months to bring a lawsuit following that. So we can't bring a lawsuit right now, even if we wanted to.
Can you tell us how much oxygen both men had on their oxygen tanks before they went into the cargo ship?
No, I can't comment on that right now.
Did they receive protocols on how to fight ship fires?
I can't comment on that either.
Can you tell us about the firefighting crews who were on board that ship? Were they trained firefighters, or are they just the guys who went and got the fire extinguishers? And why wouldn't they know to close those doors? I mean,
so from what we've uncovered thus far, there were two teams of crew members that were trained as firefighting teams aboard that ship. Those crew members have the sole purpose, when a fire breaks out, to suppress a fire. Clearly, they didn't do it and weren't able to do it. And as far as the door is concerned, there's a door. There are multiple watertight doors on the ship. in order for the CO2 system to work effectively, the watertight doors for the compartment that you're going to release CO2 into have to be closed. Because the way CO2 works is it starves a fire of oxygen. If you have a door open, you're going to let oxygen continue to flow in, and that's what happened here, and that's why the CO2 system didn't work.
Can any members of the family or any members of the family want just to talk about your emotion as we reach this milestone, noting that there's potentially a long road ahead?
I'm not gonna let any of the family members answer any questions, but I mean I think that what they said today speaks for themselves. They're deeply hurt. It's a tragic incident. We've lost two heroes, and the community is never going to get them back. And unfortunately, it's the fault of others.
What do you think about the ATF investigation and also the Coast Guard investigation up until this point? And how much information have they shared with you and the family about that investigation?
The Coast Guard's continuing to investigate it, but they've denied our request for preliminary investigation materials, stating that we're not a party in interest because they're not currently investigating the conduct of the deceased firefighters, and they're only investigating the conduct of the vessel and the stevedores. That's my understanding of it at this point. At some point, once the investigation concludes, we should be able to have full, complete access to the Coast Guard's investigative materials, but those materials won't be provided until the investigation is concluded.
In terms of CO2,
Mark, why the city of Newark? You're explaining what happened with this crew. What did the city of Newark do regarding negligence the brother's speaking about?
Okay. Well, I can't give you a full and complete answer about that because the investigation is continuing and ongoing. Okay.
Talking about the crew, but how was the city involved? All we've heard from the fire department is they were not trained. Were they trained or not? Otherwise, why are we seeing the city of Newark? That's what the mayor's going to respond to.
The notice of claim states that they weren't properly trained to fight fires aboard a ship, right? I think that speaks for itself. I don't know what else to say about that.
And just to make sure I got the list right, so it's Grimaldi, AMS, Ports America, and the city of Newark. Those are all the parties that you're recruiting.
Well, those are the parties that we're at this point in time, those are the parties we're seeking to potentially file lawsuits against, right? There's a limitation action that's been filed in federal court on behalf of Grimaldi. We're going to be answering that claim very shortly. The judge has given a deadline to file claims in that case of November 27th. We will be filing claims, obviously on behalf of both the parties, and I presume that case will also contain other parties, including the ones that you're mentioning, at some point in time.
How many ship employees comprise those two firefighting teams? Do you know?
I don't know exactly, but I think it's approximately five
total.
No, 5 on each team. Okay. Approximately. I can't tell you exactly though.
when do you estimate that the investigations are going to be complete? And following those investigations, do you plan on pursuing legal action against the city?
Okay. Well, multiple questions there. So the investigations. The investigations will continue during litigation, right? There's going to be a lot of discovery that goes on during litigation, and we'll continue to uncover facts and testimony during litigation when that occurs. In as far as the city, I'm just going to say that we're continuing to investigate it, and we can't bring a lawsuit right now against them anyway because of the statute requiring 6 months to pass. So I can't comment any further on that.
But the city has gotten a notice of claim.
Correct.
So the shipping company can go to court and file a limit to limit the liability. You're responding to that, but still in all, you can't file a direct lawsuit against those companies for a 6-month period.
The way that maritime law works is that they can file this limitation action, and it prevents lawsuits from being brought. But it allows claims to be brought in that limitation action, and that's what we're going to end up doing. All right? I thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.